Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
That was a pregnant pause, wasn't it? Well, we have a great show for you tonight anyway. I want to remind you, this is an all-volunteer effort. We have our joint host, Mr. Casper Leach, another exciting guest, Mr. Russ Belville. Howdy, gentlemen.
Nice to be here.
And musical guest, Malachi. How's it going, Malachi?
Nice. Well, nice to see you guys.
Cool. We are going to buy a few crucial seconds by bringing on our infamous dancing cannabis leaves.
I feel the force.
And here is Malachi. Welcome to the show, Malachi.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
That's great, Malachi. Does that song have a
grip a
name?
little bit there at the end, but I think it went well.
Yeah, it did. It was great. What's it called?
That was a instrumental that goes with a painting that I made.
Oh,
It
cool.
has no name. It actually goes with the painting, so you gotta. Usually is played with the painting.
Well, pretty darn good job.
Very nice.
So we are taking your phone calls tonight. If you have a question or comment for us, you can call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. And Rust, you're just about to reorganize your previous media experience into a new venture. Is that correct?
Brand new reboot starting on June 4th at radicalrest.com, 3 o'clock p.m. Taking the weekday show that I've been doing with news, interviews, and occasional rants now and then, and just bringing on independently now.
All right. So I know you won a big contest with, was it Jones Radio Network?
Yeah, the Jones Radio Network
which
put
was on
on
KPOJ at the time.
Right, here at our local KPOJ station, our Progressive Talk radio station had a contest, the search for the next great Progressive Talk radio star. It was a national contest. I won it, and that put me on XM Satellite for a couple of years. That led to then doing the work I did with Normal as far as the podcasting, and then later the live streaming and the network.
All right. And so what are your plans for the new network you're putting together?
Well, it's always seemed to me that, you turn on cable or satellite or even satellite radio, and there's a channel for everything. There's Logo and Bravo and the Speed channel, which isn't really about speed, it's about racing. But they have all these different channels for different niches, and I think our community is so big and so politically active now that there's no reason why we can't fill a 24-hour channel. So that's part of what I'm trying to do, is just collect many of the different producers and broadcasters from all around the country and even around the world, and provide them in one live streaming place. So no matter when you turn on, there's going to be something on there that's going to inform you, educate you, and entertain you.
Reminds me of an old Timothy Leary album. What do you turn on when you turn on? Well, I know some people out there have turned this show on, and we have at least one of them that's standing by on the phone. So we'll bring our caller on. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi. I'm
Howdy.
calling because I've had my license for at least 10 years now. And
Your medical
the
marijuana license in the state of Oregon?
Yes. Or around 10 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But since the beginning, how's that? And the fees keep going up and up.
Yeah, that's a travesty. We were working to try to stop that, but they hit it in a huge budget bill, and we didn't find out about it.
My curiosity is, where is the money going? Where does all
It's
this
going
money
to the health department. So they're balancing the budget here in Oregon in terms of the Oregon Health Department program for medical marijuana. They're balancing their budget on the backs of the sick and dying medical marijuana patients. So they've raised the fee 100 to 150% for most people. It's gone from $100 a year to $200, and if you name someone else as your grower, then it's $250. For some people who were on food stamps before, that amounts to a 1,500% increase. It goes from $20 a month to $250 a month. And for it's just a travesty. And so what, we have an initiative that will make it where anybody can grow their own without a license. So you won't have to go get a fee permit like that from the state. But we're trying as well to employ the legislative session starting next January and to have that fee reduced. But hopefully our initiative will make the ballot and win, and it would allow any adult to grow their own. It would also legalize the sales of all seeds and starts, and it would provide subsidized cannabis to medical patients where people over the age of 21 could buy regulated cannabis. And
that's really nice.
We've got about 125,000 signatures now. We need 87,000 valid signatures to qualify, because some people sign multiple times and duplicates really hurt us, because some people sign who aren't really registered to vote in Oregon, and a few of them are illegible, or the petition circulator doesn't fill out his circulator information on the bottom correctly. We figure we need to turn in at least 140,000. And so we're on target right now, though, to reach about 175 to perhaps 200,000 signatures before the end of the campaign. So
Granted,
we're
they're
sure
gonna
we'll
make-
have
you
at
wanna make it
least
so that-
100% more signatures than we really need, so that we're sure we qualify.
Well, you want to make it so everyone can grow, except for that makes it dangerous for a lot of people too.
No, it will just become cheap and plentiful. And the whole stigma of marijuana will be removed. And we'll see the state. A conservative estimate from Harvard economist Jeffrey Myron is that we'd see $61.5 million a year in savings through police, courts, jails, and we would see $140 million a year in new revenue from regulating and taxing it. And that, I really believe, when we legalize the drug marijuana in short order, industrial hemp, which is what most of these products here are made from, will dwarf the marijuana market, and that the real future of the economics behind marijuana lie in the hemp for fuel, fiber, and food, and that's going to dwarf the psychoactive and pharmaceutical market for social adult use and medical marijuana. That's my belief.
Thank you. I'll let you get to another caller, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Today, June 1st, in the state of Montana, their fees went up 200% from $25 to $75.
Really?
It's happening all over the place.
Yeah, 75 still seems like a bargain, though,
Yeah,
compared to what
we're
we've got
dealing
here. In Hawaii, the fee's only $25, but they require that the doctor turn the application in to the state. But in the state of Nevada, you have a 3-step process where you pay $50 for the application, $150 to file it, and then you have to get your fingerprints and forms notarized, and of course a doctor to fill out a page or two. And then they mail you a letter, you take it to DMV, and the Department of Motor Vehicles charges you another $20, and then you get your medical marijuana license. So it's like a 3-step process that you have to jump through.
And in New Jersey, if they ever do get the program up, the doctors have to register if they want to recommend cannabis. There's a doctor registry. Just how many hoops do we have to jump through here?
Yeah. And in Hawaii, the doctor has to file the application. They have to get the card. They have to sign the card. They have to give it to the patient. And then, if the patient does something wrong, it's administered by the narcotics police. And then the narcotics police tell the doctor to go ask for the card back.
Well, I'm sure the narcotics police are a fair group of people, so there isn't much concern there, right? Good.
Right.
They're our friends. Our friends. We have a show tonight. If you're watching live on June the 1st, 2012, then call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. So, Casper, you have a radio show, too.
I do. It airs on AmericanFreedomRadio.com and on AM/FM stations across America. And we're doing a variety of themes on the program. Mondays this month, Mary Lynn Mathery and Al Burns will be coming on, and we're saluting the vets and talking about how the Veterans Administrations treat medical marijuana patients within the veterans. And then we've also got, on Wednesdays, LEAP is doing a theme. We're focusing on how the prohibition is affecting the economy and affecting society as a whole. And on Fridays, it's Fukushima Friday, where we focus on the mess that's coming at America.
That's pretty frightening. I mean,
It
that
is.
meltdown dwarfs Chernobyl. It's the worst
It's
nuclear accident.
Combination of
known
the
to
of the
man.
meltdown plus all this debris that's coming up on Alaska's shore, and then we're being told by the federal government that Oregon and Washington and California, Alaska have to foot the bill their own selves. That the federal boys aren't
nuclear
going to
waste
help.
there is just melted through its containment vessel and is sinking into the earth.
Well, there's that problem. There's always that problem too, which seems to be a concern to
they
some of
just
the
keep pouring
scientists.
seawater on it, which runs into the sea.
Yeah. So Fukushima Fridays, we're bringing on people who are not more knowledgeable in that than us to let people know why, if they should be, and how much to be aware and concerned. And then on Thursdays, you're the joint host every Thursday, and we focus on what's going on in America on the initiative fronts and different organizations and activists that are fighting hard to make a difference in their neck of the woods. And on Tuesday, it's our friends up in Canada. KDK Distributors comes on, and we have Mark Orenda from Treating Yourself magazine, which is kind of cool. And so we put a big salute to all the people up there, because we're heard in Canada, we're heard in Japan, Germany, well, all around the world. So
The internet's like that, and I know the
love
American
it.
Freedom Radio Network's out in a number of states and a few other countries too. We are going to run a little film clip, and we'll be back to take more calls in just a moment. This is good.
We're talking today with Dr. Todd Mekaria, and we are learning some of the benefits, of course, for the medical uses of the hemp plant, but now we also have some challenges against us still that we've got to overcome. You have encumbered the first leg of the journey. You've just the first battle, basically. You've got it legal in a city, but now I understand from talking to Dennis Perone and others, you still have to encumber the state laws and the federal laws. Now, how do you plan on getting this into the next phase?
I've already worked on attempting to surf on this event wave, and have taken a running start by contacting the California Medical Association with regard to the possible passage of this before it actually passed.
Okay.
And so I'm asking them to become involved with helping to implement the intent of the proposition, which specifies that the people of the city and county of San Francisco recommend that the state of California and the California Medical Association restore hemp preparations, etc.
How do you think that will be met?
With trepidation by the California Medical Association, but it's been put on a fast track to be reviewed by their scientific council. And I spoke with the president of the CMA, Dr. Howard Lang, who impresses me as a forthright, courageous person, but I don't know how he feels on the issue. He was vaguely aware of having seen it across his desk, but then passed it on to the appropriate staffers down at their headquarters office in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And they were aware that it had passed, but were not aware of how the California Medical Association was obliged to be involved.
Okay.
There isn't any kind of way we can force the CMA to be involved in taking a stand, yay or nay. But if they do support this, their options of activity are to publicize it amongst their physicians, and also start working in Sacramento for legislation to make this possible, and of course statewide.
Okay, now, is there a chance that a federal agent or a state agent would still take action in the city of San Francisco and begin arresting people when they are growing marijuana, hemp?
Well, this is always possible, but we have this unique situation in San Francisco where the district attorney has assured us that he will not prosecute any cases for 6 plants or less that are growing for medicinal purposes, if the person demonstrates that they have medicinal intent or documentation.
Gatewood Galbraith once made the comment on a show of ours that if he were able to re-legalize hemp in Kentucky, all the tourists would come in, he'd fill up all the hotels. When I spoke with Dennis Perrone, he made comment that now that this has happened in the medical field, a variety of organizations from muscular sclerosis, etc., are wanting to open up foundations and offices, etc., in the San Francisco, i.e. Bay Area. Do you foresee that happening? And if so, is that going to make the movement stronger? Or?
I hadn't thought of that eventuality necessarily, but I would welcome that, because it would, with what we have in mind, help everybody, including the sufferers that were in need. Because now that we have the de facto decriminalization, even though the state attorney general is a right-wing individual that will probably oppose this, and ironically, he was the opponent to the DA who lost the race for the state attorney general to him, so there won't be any love lost between them. Theoretically, the state attorney general could send state police and state narcotics agents to go and do this kind of enforcement, but it would be difficult and outside of his area of usual responsibilities.
So you don't see an attack like they had in Humboldt County?
Well, I think that in San Francisco, where you have an uncooperative local DA with the state laws, you have the mayor and the public health establishment on your side. And as soon as we get back to San Francisco, Dennis and I have a meeting with the head of the San Francisco Health Department, that we will start moving forward and making something happen de facto that would be politically suicidal to be punitive and to attempt to stop by either federal or state intervention. That theoretically they could, but to target people who are compassionately using cannabis, this especially in an election year would not look too good with regard to Washington, the state of unreality inside the Beltway that doesn't really have any substantive health policy. And to do something negative like this would be, I would say, not good politics. But back to trying to implement the intent of this. We are going to be presenting to the state or the county health person a draft of a questionnaire and a form that we will have distributed by the health department and publicized by them to the physicians in San Francisco, that we are starting a research project to
Okay.
determine the impact of this in terms of the first way of accurately assessing actual hazards and benefits of cannabis products.
Okay.
That will involve visits by the users to their family physician, or if they don't have one, find one, because to get a prescription for using cannabis, they'd have to have the signature of a prescribing physician, because it mandates that we're not going to be punished for prescribing. And then, should the police come and investigate a growing situation in a window box or something of that nature, patio, that the person would furnish proof that this was for medicinal purposes, and they would be functionally sheltered and decriminalized for their compassionate access to cannabis.
Okay.
Now, as a quid pro quo, we ask that they give us certain facts with regard to their the use for what ailment, and we have all these conditions listed here, and this will be part of the form that we'll ask the patient to complete, and the physician also.
Now, I know one thing that the taxpayers from the Bay Area would be concerned about is when the Berlin Wall came down, all the people came rushing out, and there was an overflow into a new city and not enough to take care of. When this wall comes bursting down in San Francisco, you're going to have people from Miami, New York, everywhere coming into San Francisco and needing this medicine to relieve themselves from AIDS, glaucoma, et cetera, and there's going to be an enormous amount, it appears, people seeking your help. How are you going to prepare to take care of that?
I think the San Francisco physicians can respond to that challenge, and that they can provide them with good medicine, and also with frankness with regard to their substance use patterns, and not have to be hypocritical or fearful that anything will be happening to them, so that they're not going to turn down the business. And we're talking about people publicizing to the medical community that this is what happened, and this is what the Public Health Department is doing to try to help implement it. One of the things we're going to ask for is some office space in the Public Health Department, but we'll pay for it.
Okay.
And we're then going to start soliciting contributions or money to implement this research project. Another thing that we're going to ask the Public Health Department to do is to monitor the purity, quality, and strength, and do chemical analyses on hemp specimens that will be submitted by users, because they would like to know about different issues of purity. For example, fungi and molds. This is really a critical issue for the AIDS patients, because those that have compromised immunologic systems and problems with recurrent pneumonia, to have sources of mold or fungi come in courtesy of the leaf would be not good for their health, probably.
Okay.
And so we have to study the level of occurrences of these kinds of contaminants, molds, fungi. Possibly somebody might have something in their soil they didn't know about that would get into there, like a heavy metal, and that the essentially the health department's laboratory would be protecting the health of the citizens of San Francisco for drug purity with regard to cannabis, plus providing us a source of information for other phases of research, which will be structure-activity relationships, and variety, strain, other kinds of botanical or species, kinds of differences, or growth techniques will also start coming online with regard to issues of what are good medicines, what are undesirable effects.
And we'll
also
start generating new research,
Right.
and new approaches to problems.
That's right, and a population which will give us this information in exchange for being protected.
Sounds excellent.
And this is the kind of thing that I'm quite excited about. I think that we are sending the right signal to the Beltway back here.
And we need to do so still.
And I think that this kind of initiative will help demystify, because it will involve the medical community in learning what is real and what is hysteria, so that more legitimate information will come from this. And I'm asking to be appointed principal investigator for this research effort.
I'm sure we'd
so as
love
to
do that.
coordinate it.
And we've also enjoyed having you on our show. We really have to go at this point, but we'd like to have you come back soon. Next time you get a chance to be on the show, would you please?
Certainly will.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for tuning in to our program. We're doing what we can to bring in the information to you as quickly as we come across it. Until we're in touch again, keep happy, keep strong, keep wise.
So there you are, Casper. Back when was that? 21 years ago.
21 years ago,
1991.
1991, I was a guest speaker at the National Normal Conference, and when I got there,
So that was
there
in Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
And this show was primarily produced for the Los Angeles and
it
Arizona
was,
area.
and community cable. I had no idea that the audience was growing and had picked up on what my guests were saying. But you know, when you have Jack Hare on as a guest and
Well, he
Captain Ed
encouraged
and
you to
Gatewood
get started,
Galbraith,
right? You were working with him pretty closely. at the
yeah,
time.
but people wanted to hear what Jack had to say and Gatewood had to say, and of course,
Yeah. Well,
people
we're
like
happy
Dr. Todd.
to help digitize your archives, and we've got Jack and Gatewood and Captain Ed and Dr. McCurria here, and we've had a very patient caller standing by. Let's bring that caller on. Welcome to the show, caller. Oh no, the caller's gone. Well, this is
You
your
got-
chance. If you want to call in, you can call us at 503-288-4448. It's 503-288-4448.
You got Buzz and Tell here.
I do. I've
I
got
love
a
it.
lot of sharing tonight.
Buzz and Tell.
I do.
I'm Buzz, so do
is
tell.
Camera 2 ready for that? Well, first of all, there's this nifty stem. And this nifty stem is a cannabis hemp stem, and the interior part of it is the hurd fiber. The hurd fiber will produce about 25 to 35 tons an acre. And it was previously a waste product. Initially, hemp in America was grown for this outer bark. This outer bark is the bast fiber, kind of like bark, bast. And the woody core is called the hurd fiber. And so the bast fiber makes canvas, rope, lace, linen, and specialty papers like cigarette papers. In fact, half of all the cigarette papers in the United States are rolled in hemp paper, and the other half are rolled in flax paper. By law, cigarette paper has to be made out of hemp or flax because wood-based paper is highly toxic when burned. So they use hemp and flax paper. The interior, though, was a waste product from producing canvas, rope, lace, and linen. And in 1916, the United States Department of Agriculture did Bulletin 404. And they said that this waste material had been used for animal bedding and fuel in the fireplace. It makes 4 times more paper than the most productive tree species. It also makes a very strong, resilient, better than wood fiber board. So that's another option. So this is a hemp stock.
I heard that.
So right here,
Heard.
we have Dr. Bronner's soap. Dr. Bronner is a big supporter of Prop 19 back in the last election cycle, and he makes several hemp body care products. This is hemp peppermint soap, and I got to say, this is my favorite. I
Has he
use
come
this
on
one.
board for the Octa?
Not yet, but you know, we're hopeful. Here is Manitoba Harvest Hemp Oil.
Cool.
That's been out there. There's a Manitoba Hemp Cooperative up there. They've got to use these really low
What do you do with it?
patent, and you eat it. It's very
in
rich
salad?
in, you put it in salads, anything you use oil in. It's raw, cold pressed, organic hemp seed oil. And it has all the omega-3 and omega-6s in the perfect balance for human health.
That's groovy.
Then right here, we have a different kind of hemp seed oil. And it's the same thing, but a different brand,
Does it
different
taste
company.
good?
It tastes good.
Does it?
Yeah,
Groovy.
tastes really good. It tastes, you know, a lot of people take flax oil for its nutritional benefits for the omega-6 and 3. Flax oil doesn't have enough omega-3, and it doesn't have it in the perfect balance of 6 and 3 and 9 for human health,
And you
where
need those
hemp
for-
seed oil does. Hemp and flax are very similar when it comes to fiber too. Flax fiber and hemp fiber are
digestion.
almost indistinguishable by fiber experts. It's very difficult for them to tell the difference. Right next door, we have a really yummy product, this hemp non-dairy beverage. It's chocolate. We're going to take a drink.
It's
down here in
chocolate?
it's chocolate.
Oh, my.
And we have hulled hemp seeds. Now, both of these are bought right here in Portland at local stores, and you can pick them up yourself. And, you know, we're a commercial-free show. We show different brands. We don't really care about brands because nobody's paying us any money. But what we want to do is see this stuff made here in the United States.
Right.
And here is a hemp powdered product. It's from Wyeth Pharmacies, about 1910. It's still about a third of the way full, and that's powdered keef or powdered hashish that
It
you
wouldn't
see
be
in there.
any
This
good
was an
now,
ounce
would it?
bottle of powdered hashish with still a little bit more than a quarter left in there. One time I tried, I have several of these, and this is the first one. I tried to open it and broke half the cork off, and I've never tried to open another one again. Right next door, this one's pretty fascinating.
Wow,
Maybe we get a
that's
close up
cool.
on it. This is a Park Davis pint bottle of Cannabis Americana extract. It's dated April 15th,
What's the extract used for?
1915. Well, let me just read what it says here. It's a sedative and for coughs and fermentation and antispasmodic.
Wow, because usually when I smoke cannabis, I do cough, though I do get tired.
Well, you know, talking about cough, we got two different cough medicines. This one from Washington, D.C. It's Bliss's Native Balsam with hemp and chloroform. That'll really just kind of knock you out. And this is mentholated cough balsam, again, with hemp and chloroform. This one's from
Nice.
West Virginia, from Clay Shaw, druggist in West Virginia.
Thank you,
And
Clay.
This one's from Alonzo D. Bliss for coughs and colds. And these are both about 1890 to 1900. So that is the end of our show and
I
tell
think that was
for
the year
tonight.
Ed Rosenthal graduated from college. I think so.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
Hi, Ed. I'm sure you are. Hi, Ed.
So we have a call. Welcome to the show, caller. Hello, caller.
Hi, how are you?
We're great. How are you?
I just wanted to let you guys know that you're doing a great job.
Thank you. We keep trying.
And I was interested in the products that you guys are showing right now. Where do you get a hold of that
I just
stuff?
go to the store. Just go to the store. You know, I got it right here. I live in Portland, Oregon.
You mean like the local Safeway?
Yeah, the Safeway, the Fred Meyer, the Whole Foods, all the different stores, New Seasons. We don't recommend, this is a commercial-free cable broadcast, so we can't actually recommend we don't accept any money. We're mainly doing this to legalize marijuana. That's what I want to do. I want to see marijuana and hemp restored to their rightful place in our economy. And so that's what it's about. But you can get it at all those different stores.
Right, but can you go door to door with those products and sell them?
I certainly am not going to do that, but I guess somebody could. Thank you.
I was just wondering because
So,
it's like
have you tried this
probably selling
specific
Full
chocolate?
Brush or Avon, and
I have not.
I think people it would be
To the legalization of
this-
hemp and cannabis.
Yeah. And you guys have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Got
Doing a
to
good
toast you
job.
there. If you have a question for us tonight, give us a call at 503-288-4448.
Tastes like a vitamin drink.
Well, okay. I like the vanilla better. This is the first time I tried the chocolate.
I'd have to be really high.
Do you drink soy milk? You don't try that. Well, it's kind of like soy milk too.
But thank you for
good for
sharing.
you. Okay.
I'd rather smoke my
What do
hemp.
you think, Russ? What's yours? Does it taste like a vitamin drink to you?
It's
got
no,
a
it
lot
does
of
a little.
vitamins.
I get what he's coming from. It reminded me of a kind of a protein shake.
Not that good.
Well, you can make it into a protein shake.
Yeah.
Maybe this.
Maybe that'll help it.
It says good things about it here on the box.
It's probably far healthier than anything I've had today.
It must be because it tastes like it would be healthy.
We're going to run a little clip, and we'll be back in just a moment. Won't be long.
You want?
Hi, I'm Willie Nelson, and I urge you to support the Oregon Cannabis Tax Act to regulate marijuana and restore industrial hemp. This initiative will end adult marijuana prohibition and let our criminal justice officers focus limited resources on real criminals and not on marijuana users like me. OCTA will also allow farmers to grow hemp for fuel, fiber, and food to create jobs and help our economy. Please support OCTA. Thank you.
Thank you, Willie. That's been a big endorsement that's helped our campaign quite a bit. So we want to thank Willie Nelson. He also gave us $5,600, which is
We
nothing
love
to
you,
sneeze
Willie.
at.
You're my best
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. So your shows start on the 3rd, is that right?
They start 3 o'clock on the 4th,
On
this
the
coming
4th.
Monday, and we'll have you on discussing Okta. And
Right.
from then on Tuesday, Paul Armentano from Normal's on to fill us in on what's going on in the other states.
I love
Paul's
him.
great.
Oh, yeah. On
He's
Wednesday.
a real resource for all the
Oh, my
latest
goodness.
scientific news.
Every
He's
time
on the cutting edge. I often read some of his reports in our Hemp News segment from the
Yeah.
latest medical journal articles.
Yeah, nobody knows it better than Paul, that's for sure. On Wednesday, we get Dr. Mitch Earlywine coming in to do live question and answers. You know, people can call in with their questions on, culture, science, health, history, all that kind of stuff. And Dr. Mitch talk to them live or through the chat, which is a lot of people prefer that. They're a little afraid to call. And then let's see, Thursday, Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. We work with them too. Great, voices for reform.
Neil
And-
Franklin has said they'll come out here and support Okta here and help us in our campaign. So
That
we're
would be
excited
great.
about
On the
that.
show.
And
He
we
did.
close out
Yeah,
our first week with High Time Senior Cultivation Editor Danny Danko, who's going
All
to join
right.
us on Friday. Also on Wednesday nights, he'll be doing his free weed show live. We'll be producing it. We'll be producing it from two coasts, but producing it over the internet and taking live cultivation questions as well. So it's all available at potnet.us, the whole network, Prohibition Opposition Television Network, and we're gonna bring it all to you 24 hours a day.
All right. We used to be on Cannabis Culture's streaming site,
Pot
pot.net.
TV.
Yeah, pottv.net.
Pot.tv. We have Jody Emery show.
All right.
We're going to replay
All right.
that in the lineup. That's basically the idea is that there's so much out there that we're kind of the Whitman sampler, if you will. We'll play the first part of someone's show, the first hour, and then we say, hey, you want to check out more, go see pot.tv, go see, CRH, whatever it might be, because we want to, have all the voices be heard. There's so many of us out here in Oregon, Washington, California, Colorado that know a lot of this stuff, but I got fans in, Texas and Oklahoma and Tennessee and
I know
Florida
I
and
was in
Georgia.
Texas and they told me, hey, Russ is going to be staying at my house next week.
That's
Just
right.
about
that's
a month
right.
or so ago.
They're the people that need those messages. They're the ones that we need to be a wave of information coming from the West
Well,
Coast.
we've got them looking us up and hooking up with us through our Facebook page at Restore Him.
It's a great time. This is just such a great time with all we can do through social networking, internet, live streaming technologies that the occupiers in various cities have really honed to perfection now. That we can be our own media. They say Big Brother's watching you. Well, now Little Brother is watching Big Brother with cell phones and streaming video, and we're going to be a big part of that.
All right. Well, I want to tell our viewers out there that one of the things we do is to support that initiative down there. We're at about 125,000 signatures right now. We need 87,213 valid registered Oregon voter signatures. So the state has started to validate the first 108,000 signatures we turned in, and we're continuing to gather signatures. In fact, if you're looking for a job, we're still hiring people who like to go out and walk and talk a lot and be petitioners. You can make $10, $20 an hour. I have heard of several petitioners carrying 2 petitions making over $2,000 a week. So you can make good money at it. And if you want more information, you can call our office at 503-235-4606. That's
I had one of your petitioners in the neighborhood the other day who I was just starting to take my dog out for a walk like I do every day. And he says, hey, your neighbors said you'll want to sign this. I said, I think I might have been one of the first dozen or 100 or so.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
And we had to gather 1,000 signatures to start. So we turned in 2,000, and they validated 1,500 of them. 1,498, I think it was. So that comes off of the 87,213. So really, we just need another 85 in the 108,000 plus what we turn in between now and then. 85,715 more signatures.
This may be the first year where 3 states are voting on legalization at the same time.
It's the first year that 2 states have ever voted on it. I guess Prop 19.
Didn't they have Nevada and Alaska that one year with MPP in 2004, 2006?
Yeah, I
something
guess
like
so.
that?
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
Maybe they did.
But
I
yeah,
hadn't thought of that.
three states. I mean, that message has to carry. I mean, it's got to say something.
Well, Obama did say on the late night TV show the other night when asked point blank if he was going to legalize marijuana in his second term, he went, no, absolutely not. Why would anybody think that?
Well, he might not do it, but we will.
We will.
Yeah. So if you want to get involved in the petition drive, you can go to our website there at cannabistaxact.org. That's cannabistaxact.org. You can print out a petition, sign it, and mail it in to us or bring it to our office at that address right there, 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard. You can also click on there and make a contribution. In fact, contributions of $50 up to $50 a person are refundable on Oregon state taxes. There is a tax credit for political contributions to Oregon political committees. So if you donate up to $50 a person or $100 for married couples filing jointly, then the state will pay you back when you take that political tax credit for making a contribution to an Oregon political committee. So you can consider it a loan. You know, just in the month of May alone, I can thank our patients for making it a reality that we could donate $80,000 to our Oregon Cannabis Tax Act petition drive. And that paid for us to gather about 50,000 signatures. So that's really helped us jump forward, and we're continuing that drive. So if you can help us, go to our website at cannabistaxact.org.
Yep.
So if you have a question or comment for us tonight, call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. So Russ, you initially came from Idaho a few years back.
Yes, I'm a red state refugee.
And you tell us the story of how you first got involved in activism. In fact, I have an online question that was texted to us, and it is, what got you into activist? And glad to see you back.
Well, it really came down to, you know, I'd been a marijuana consumer since July 4th, 1990. Used to play music in bands and, you know, smoke weed, and it was not a thing. When I got married in 2001, my wife has medical conditions for which I knew cannabis would really help. But she'd always had those stereotypes. She had brothers that were kind of the stereotypical slacker type marijuana consumers, and she was afraid, you know, she always thought it was okay, my use, so, oh, you're okay, but I don't want to smoke it, I don't want to be a pothead. But after a little bit of time and a few trips to the emergency room, I said, please try this. And it worked so well for her. It was just one of those epiphany moments where it was like, all right, I know she's going to need this medicine for the rest of her life. And I've been a stoner in Idaho for 20 years now. I know how to get away with it. She does not, or 10 years by that time. But I knew that she wouldn't be able to get away with it. She wouldn't know all the cultural things and the tricks and how to hide from the cops and all. So we decided to move out to Oregon. Fast forward to 2005, I went to the Global Marijuana March in the Pioneer Courthouse Square. Madeline Martinez was there, and Anna Diaz, one of the founders of Oregon NORML, had been following my blogging that I'd been doing for years and hooked us all up. And like 2 weeks later, I was co-hosting Oregon NORML's TV show, and it's just been a rocket ride ever since.
All right.
Madeline's a sweetie.
Yeah.
We have a caller. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
Very well. How are you?
All right, this is Rolla J.
Hey, Rolla J.
I'm just calling to give a shout out to Russ and say what's up because I'm kind of going through withdrawals, missing his show.
But it won't be long now. Won't be long, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I had to call in and just say, hey, what's going on?
Jay,
can't wait till Monday.
John and Kalika are sitting off stage too, and I'm sure they say what up. So,
cool.
Man, thanks for calling in. You know, Jay's story is so, you know, just exemplifies what a great community we have. In doing my work and trying to put together the podcast, I don't have a lot of equipment. Jay is a recording engineer who just had boards and microphones laying around. He says, well, I'll send them to you. You can make use of them. And ever since then, we've been great friends, and he's put us up. You know, when we were down in the Bay Area, he puts us up in his house, and there's so much good and giving in our community that it's just it makes our prohibition so much more poignant. You know, that's so much more offensive, if you will, because we're some of the best people in the world, and we are the least deserving of the treatment we get.
Well, you know, I really believe that, you know, marijuana is about the future of freedom, and it's not really about the drug. That's a smokescreen. It's really about money and power and the continued centralization of economic and political control. It's really about hemp fuel and hemp fiber, That's the main thing.
Oh, yeah.
That it's about.
I always say that hemp's not illegal because marijuana is a drug. Marijuana is illegal because hemp is an oil.
Yeah,
That's really
a very
what's
good
going
way
on
to
here.
put it.
And there was a story that I was looking at this week too that I thought kind of parallels this idea of the freedoms and the liberties that we're talking about in this issue. You heard about New York City Mayor Bloomberg wanting to come up with a restriction in restaurants and other places to only a 16-ounce soda. Right. It's one of those feel-good motions we go through to try to ban something instead of addressing what really might help New Yorkers with obesity or food issues, getting them better grocery outlets, getting more PE in the schools, whatever. No, let's ban large sodas. That'll fix it. It's this idea that we have to ban, and we got to get over that.
We have an online question here. It's
So we're going to ban you talking.
no, we're not. Once cannabis is legal in Oregon, how will patients get their medicine? That's a good question. I know a lot of patients
much more
worried
easily.
about that. Yeah, much more easily and much more
dealer?
cheaply.
Yes.
It'll be legal for anybody without a license to grow marijuana. So patients won't have to go out and get a license. And if they do go out and get a license, then they can buy it at pharmacies and at other stores at cost, where adults who buy it will be taxed. The cannabis to patients will be sold at farmers' cost, and I think that'll be less than $20 an ounce for good bud. And so patients will get free access. Also, the sales of all strains of cannabis seeds and starts will be available and not regulated. So it basically frees it, and it will allow farmers to cultivate hemp for fuel, fiber, food, and medicine. 90% of the proceeds that are gathered from selling marijuana to adults will go to the state general fund. So the state can use it for education.
I have a question. Who's going to oversee the pharmacies, and who's going to oversee the...
There's going to be a new board of, it's going to be the Cannabis Commission. And out of 9 members, 7 will be cannabis farmers and processors. So it'll be in the hands of the industry to try to make certain it's regulated right. 2 will be appointed by the governor on the Cannabis Commission. The first 9 will be appointed by the governor by December 31st of this year, and then those 9 will have to promulgate rules to issue the licenses and collect fees beginning by February 28th of next year.
Does the governor
So if we
know
put
that?
this on, yeah, it's right there in the law. Everybody
all
knows
written
it.
down.
The Attorney
The
General
governor's
wrote the
fighting
ballot
this so
title,
hard.
question, and summary.
All right.
But this will make it free for just about everybody. It'll make cannabis cheap and plentiful in short order. We have a caller. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi,
Howdy.
this is Steve from OGF, and I have a question and a story for Russ.
Go ahead.
I was in Amsterdam a couple of years ago, and I went into a coffee shop and ordered some cannabis and was sitting there drinking a coffee and having some cannabis. And I looked over, and the guy next to me is streaming Radical Russ on his computer. And I was like, hey, yeah, I know that guy.
Wow. I have a story. I have a story to match it. One day, John and I are doing the show, and we get done with the show, and we drive to a gas station I never go to. It just happened to be on the way that we were at. And we walk in the door, and there's a guy coming out who's wearing an iPod, and he looks up and he goes, "I'm listening to you guys right now." There's a weird little time travel going on.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
That's great. So I hear that you're going to actually be podcasting from our Care Growers Cup on the 16th of June.
Yeah, again, at potnet.us or radicalruss.com, Saturday, June 16th, we're going to bring live event coverage. And, we'll have ourselves a good time coming up that Saturday, a couple Saturdays away.
Yeah, that's great. If anybody out there is a card holder, there's still judges' tickets available for that,
Wow.
and you can actually meet Russ and sample some of the finest cannabis.
So
in the
how many
state.
strains do medical patient judges get to try?
I don't know exactly, but I know I personally checked in over 12, and they've made the samples larger this time, so it's a good amount.
All right. There's
Yeah,
our
we'll see
hemp
you there,
fiber.
Steve.
All right. Well, thanks,
All
Steve.
right.
Steve's also one of the people who helps with our stage and music at the annual Hemp Stock Festival.
Glad to help.
We're glad to have your help. You used to work on weed stock back in the Midwest and the Great Midwest Marijuana Harvest Fest in Madison, Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Steve.
That's true. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Have a good night.
Too. So we also have medical clinics. If you are a loved one needs a doctor, if you have chronic pain, spasms, seizures, neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's, ALS, or multiple sclerosis, gastrointestinal ailments like IBS, Crohn's disease, or GERD, or cancer, or cachexia, the inability to eat, then we have doctors who can help you get medical marijuana permits all across the United States. So give us a call. Here in Portland, the number is 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. If you are in anywhere else in the United States, you can call us at 1-800-723-0188. That's 1-800-723-0188. And that phone number is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no cover charge.
Do you expect the new Attorney General to stand behind everything when the federal boys come in,
Oregon
kicking the doors?
Democratic nominee who got a lot of help from the marijuana community in her race against a person who was a former U.S. attorney who cracked down on medical marijuana clubs. She has indicated that she is very excited about the possibility of arguing this before the United States Supreme Court.
Good.
So
and didn't we tell that other guy he's going to vote him out of office?
Well, he's already voted out.
And it's happened again. That's the other big story that happened.
down
is,
in
Beto O'Rourke in El Paso, unseated an
Texas.
8-term congressman who had
Bento
run
O'Rourke.
ads that said, "Say no to drugs, say no to Beto."
Yeah,
I mean,
he won
or
down in
Beto,
El
I think
Paso.
it's
Here's a heads up, politicians.
That's three.
Pot smokers
Yeah.
vote.
3 for 3 now.
It's usually after we've had breakfast and a handful of
And
M&Ms.
our polls are up in the recent Rasmussen poll. We had 56% of people on a national basis are now in favor of ending marijuana prohibition and treating it like alcohol. That's up from 50%, which was the highest that had ever polled as of last October in a National Gallup poll. And here in the Northwest, we're even better. Our most recent polls show we can win our Oregon Cannabis Tax Act with 62% of the vote, which is a real good place to start. And that the strongest arguments in favor of that are enhancing public safety and allowing police to concentrate on real criminals, and allowing farmers to cultivate hemp for fuel, fiber, and food. Just exactly what Willie Nelson said. Isn't that amazing? The way Willie,
I'm stunned. That's a higher approval rating than Mitt Romney or Obama.
Oh yeah.
You mean there are more people who want to re-legalize marijuana and prohibition than there are who want to put either one of those two clowns in office?
There's been 7 polls by 5 different organizations since 2009 that have registered 50% or higher for marijuana legalization. And in the Rasmussen poll, the most amazing takeaway for me in that one is in every demographic, it was above 50%. Even, 65 and older, above 50%. Women, men, above, education, no matter how they broke it down, you couldn't find someone that supported prohibition.
Well, Russ, we are down to about 3.5 minutes to go, and we've got a little bit of music to go out. Let's give our viewers an opportunity to hear your website again and exactly how they can link up with your newly launched network.
Yeah, check it out at Prohibition Opposition Television is potnet.us, or you can just go to my site at radicalruss.com. Live streaming player is there. It's on 24/7, 365. It's always 420 at Potnet, so check it out, potnet.us.
And Casper, go ahead and put in a plug for Time for Hemp.
Heard on AmericanFreedomRadio.com every Monday through Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find us at timeforhemp.com, and you can go to iTunes, type in Time, the number 4 Hemp. You get our Time for Hemp Classic, Time for Hemp Music, Time for Hemp Today, and Time for Hemp live broadcast. So you can find us at iTunes, timeforhemp.com, and on AmericanFreedomRadio.com every Monday through Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Thank you. Make sure when you tune in, it's always Time for Hemp.
All right, Casper. So I'm proud to be on with a couple of other cannabis broadcast pioneers, and we'll all continue bringing you alternative media through all available means. We will be back on our drive to end adult marijuana prohibition and restore hemp. And here's Malachi, who's going to go out. Thanks again, Malachi.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed being here today.
for him.